What's up, everyone? Ice Rice here. I didn't really get to touch on UFC 221. It's been a busy weekend. It's my birthday weekend, so I do apologize. I know I usually try to throw everything out there and give my unprofessional opinion, but here we are, UFC 221. It's actually going on right now. The main card's going to start here probably, and I think it's 25 minutes, not even 20 minutes. So here we go. UFC 221 in Perth, Australia. Perth has officially opened their doors to mixed martial arts, and it's hopefully it's good. I mean, it looks like a decent card for the main card. So let's start from the top. The 185-pound interim. My cat's dancing around behind me. Interim championship belt between Luke Rockhold and Yoel Romero. It is still for a belt, but only if Luke Rockhold wins. Yoel Romero is no longer eligible because he came in 3 pounds heavy and then had 2 hours to lose weight and then came in at 187.7. So he didn't really lose any weight regardless. But Luke Rockhold, 16-3. He's 33 years old, 6'3", built like a crazy man, dude. The guy's huge for the division. He looks like a easily and over, like probably a big light heavyweight rather. He could definitely fight a light heavyweight. Maybe he'll do that later in his career, but he's 6-2 in the UFC and on a one-fight winning streak. The only fight that he's lost recently was to Michael Bisping, which was a lot of people consider a fluke, obviously because Michael Bisping didn't really do much with his championship belt, and Luke also choked him out with a one-arm guillotine, which you don't see that very often. He's super well-rounded, has great kickboxing. His kicks are crazy. He's an amazing top when he's on the ground. Like his wrestling's good. Nothing to take away from him. I mean, he did before he moved to Florida wrestle with Cain Velasquez and what is it, the champion DC pretty much every single day. So wrestling with those, and not to mention Khabib. Not to get a excuse me, not to get a little crazy, but those are three of like the best wrestlers in all of UFC. So it's definitely great to wrestle and roll around with those guys all day. But great wrestler. His top game is insane. His transitions and his ability to scramble is awesome. Super well rounded, great cardio, and he's only lost to two people, and that's what was it? Michael Bisping and Vitor Belfort, both champions in the UFC, and both hopefully at some point will probably be in the UFC Hall of Fame. So no slouches or losers there. He's going up against an amazing fighter though, Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero was a silver medalist in wrestling for Cuba. He's a diesel guy, super explosive, crazy, but his record is 12-2. He's 40 years old, but he doesn't seem 40 years old. He seems like a 20-year-old when he's jumping around and shit like that. When he knocked out Chris Weidman with that flying knee, he didn't look like a 40-year-old guy. But he's 6'3". I mean, 6 foot. He's 8-1 in the UFC, and his only loss is to Whitaker, which is now the champ. That's why they're fighting for the interim champ. He fell ill. He had staph infection. I guess they didn't properly take care of it, so it went to his stomach, and he seems pretty good now. Everything worked out for the best for him though, because he just had a baby girl. So shout out to Whitaker. Congratulations. Hope all is well. And recover champ, come back and let's see you fight one of these guys. Back to you, all Romero. He's super powerful. He's explosive. He's obviously a great wrestler, being a silver medalist, and then his Brazilian jiu-jitsu is really good. So that's going to be fun to watch them if they do go to the ground. But I hope it's a striking match. Luke's no slouch, either is Joel. Both diesel competitors always going forward, so this is going to be fun to watch. Um, our co-main event is Mark Hunt versus Curtis Blades. It's the heavyweight. Mark Hunt, who is pretty much a legend in the sport. He's one of the best knockout artists. They literally should call him Walk Away because he hits somebody and there's no point in having a second punch. He literally just walks off. He's 13-11-1. His record doesn't really speak a lot, but he's also fought the who's who of the MMA world. He's 43 years old. He's actually the oldest person on the card, and I believe either the oldest or the second oldest in UFC. He's 5'10", 8-5-1 in the UFC, and he's on a one-fight winning streak. He's got a great chin. He's always coming forward. His knockout power, like I just talked about, he's one of the hardest hitters in the game. He's fought the who's who, and he has a 60% striking accuracy. When this guy hits you, he hits you. He's not swinging for shadows. He's usually on point. But he's fighting a up and comer, man, Curtis Blades. If I remember correctly, Blades. He started as a sparring partner with our heavyweight champ Stipe Miocic, and they would wrestle together. It was like his grappling partner, and then he kind of, I guess, got into it. There was nothing else after wrestling, so here he is. He's 8-1. He's 26 years old. He's a young dude. He's 6'4", so he's tall. He has 6 inches on Mark Hunt. He's 3-1 in the UFC, 2-fight win streak, and the only person he lost to is Ngannou, and I believe that was a split decision, so it wasn't like he got knocked out. Actually, besides Miocic, I think he's the only person that went the distance with Ngannou. Usually everyone gets knocked out in the first round. But super good at cardio, obviously being a wrestler. Cardio has always been there. He's very strong, he's aggressive, and he has a 71% takedown accuracy. Obviously, just like Mark Hunt with his strikes, he doesn't miss on his takedowns. He's usually bringing people straight down. And especially against Mark Hunt, smaller guy, definitely durable, but he's got a good chance of bringing Mark Hunt down. But Mark Hunt pops right back up. Don't let his physique fool you. Let's see. Then our next fight, and he's also in the heavyweight, another Australian, Tai Tuivasa. He's 8-0, 24 years old, young dude, 6'2", and he's weighs in at 265 pounds. He's a big boy. 61% striking accuracy, and has never been taken down in the UFC. Is 100% takedown defense thus far. He's fighting Cyril Asker, which is 9-3 in the UFC. 32 years old. He's 6 foot, and he's weighed in at 247, I believe. 40% striking accuracy, 62% takedowns, and then 100% takedown defense. Never been taken down in the UFC either. The next fight after that is Jake Matthews versus Li Jinglang. They're fighting at 170 pounds. Jake Matthews is 12-3, 23 years old, 5'11", 47% striking accuracy, 52% striking defense. So he's very evasive, and 61% takedown defense. So hasn't been taken down very much. Li Jinglang is 14-4, 29 years old, 6 foot, 45% striking accuracy, 60% striking defense, 57% takedown defense. And then, let's see, the next fight, sorry, my notes, Tyson Pedro versus Saparbek Safarov. I don't know, man. I feel like I need Google Translate on some of these names. That's the light heavyweight bout. Tyson is 6-1, 26 years old, 6'3", 61% striking accuracy, 47% striking defense, 100% takedown accuracy. So he's a great wrestler, and then 50% takedown defense. So obviously half the time he gets taken down. Let's see, Safarov, 8-1, 31 years old, 6'11", so he's a really tall guy, almost 7 foot. And then he's very evasive. Is 44% striking defense. Other than that, like I have a bunch of notes on all the other fighters, but those fights have already pretty much gone through. So let's do some predictions. Let's start with Tyson Pedro, the light heavyweight bout that I was just talking about. Tyson Pedro versus Safarov. I don't know enough about either one of these guys, but looking at their stats and everything, I think Tyson's going to take it. He's a high caliber striker. His defense is incredible. So it sounds like a pretty fun match to watch. Jake Matthews, this is 170 pounds, versus Li Jiangling. Looking at their records, they're pretty much even age, height, and even on their striking defense, their takedowns, their takedown defense, they're neck and neck. So that sounds like it's either gonna be a stalemate or a barn burner. It'd be fun to watch, but let's go with Jake Matthews. I think that'll be a fun fight there. So we got Tyson Pedro and Jake Matthews thus far. Tai Tuivasa versus Cyril Asker. I gotta go with Tai Tuivasa, man. The guy's 8-0. He's been a beast thus far. He's killing it, and he's one of Mark Hunt's training partners. Curtis Blades versus Mark Hunt. Honestly, I got Curtis in this. He's young, he's tall, and he's a great wrestler. Mark doesn't do well against wrestlers unless he catches them, but that's just Mark. He could easily blast someone out, no matter who you are. If you have a chin, he could knock it out. So let's go with Curtis on that, though. And then Luke Rockhold versus Yoel Romero. Honestly, I hope Luke wins. Yoel Romero coming in heavy. To me, it's unprofessional, and it's a dick move. Sorry for my language, but I never really liked Yoel Romero regardless. I think he walks around with this aura of cockiness. Not that Luke doesn't, but Luke is Luke. It's just kind of how he's always been. He's got that California swag. But I'm going to go with Luke, man. I think Luke was he's a great ambassador for MMA, and on top of that, the dude is sick, man. Like I said earlier, his top game, his scramble, his kickboxing, it's all right there. And then moving into this new gym with, what was it, Henry Hoof, it's pretty diesel. So it's going to be crazy to see what he can do now. So we got Luke Rockhold, Curtis Blades, Tai Tuivasa, Jake Matthews, and Tyson Pedro. And that's it for me. I'll do another video about UFC 222, and I believe we have 2 fight nights in between then. So I'll be back later. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for watching. Ice Rice out.